So we have to now understand what are our maryadas, how we have to live within our maryadas. And I'm sure if you really work out your Sri Ganesha, for that the best is to meditate. Put yourself on some nice turf, grass. Sit on that. Put your left hand with the light and right hand on the mother and say Atharvashish. If you can remember it by heart, it's a very good thing. Otherwise, you can keep the book and read it, or say Ganesha's mantra to begin with. It's going to help you very much. It's going to help you, your eyes, it's going to, your whole thing is going to be very nice. It's going
Om Namaste Ganapataye Tvameva Pratyaksham Tasvamasi Tvameva Kevalam Kartasi Tvameva Kevalam Dhartasi Tvameva Kevalam Hartasi Tvam Sarvam Khanvidam Brahmasi Tvam Sakshadasmasi Nityam Vritam Vachmi Satyam Vachmi Avatvam Mam Avavaktaram Avashrotaram Avadhataram Avadhataram Avanuchanam Avshisham Avapashchatat Avapurastat Avottaratat Avadakshinatat Avachordvatat Avadharatat Sarvato Mam Pahi Pahi Samantat Tvam Manmaya Tvam Chinmaya Tvam Anandamaya Tvam Brahmaya Tvam Satchidananda Dvityosi Tvam Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvam Jnanamayo Vijnanamayosi Sarvam Jagadidam Tvatto Jayate Sarvam Jagadidam Tvattas Tishtati Sarvam Jagadidam Tvai Layameshyati Sarvam Jagadidam Tvai Pratyeti Tvam Bhumirapo Nalo Nilo Namaha Tvam Tatvari Vakpadani Tvam Gunatrayatitaha Tvam Vihatrayatitaha Tvam Kalatrayatitaha Tvam Vastasitosi Nityam Tvam Shakti Trayatmakaha Tvam Yogino Dhyayanti Nityam Tvam Brahma Tvam Vishnu Tvam Rudra Tvam Indra Tvam Agni Tvam Vayu Tvam Surya Tvam Chandrama Tvam Brahma Bhupurva Svarom Garnadin Purva Mucharya Garnadin Tadantaram Anuswara Parattaraha Ardendu Lasitam Karina Viddham Ekatta Manusvarupam Zakaro Purva Rupam Akaro Madhyam Rupam Anuswara Shanta Rupam Bindu Rutta Rupam Nada Sannanam Sauhita Sandhi Saisha Ganesha Vidya Ganaka Rishi Nitre Gayatri Chandaha Om Netaya Namaha Om Ganapataye Namaha Ekadantaya Vidmahe Vakratyundaya Dhimahi Tanno Danti Prachodayat Ekadantam Chaturahastam Pashamantu Chadharanam Radam Chavaradam Hasaira Dibranam Mushaka Dvajam Raktam Lambhodaram Shurpakarnakam Raktavasasam Raktagandhanuliptangam रक्तपुष्पैः सुपूजितं भक्तानुकम्पिनं देवं जगत्कारणम् अच्युतम् आविर्भूतं सृष्टयादौ देह पुरुषात् परम् एवं ध्यायति यो नित्यं संयोगी योगिनां वरः नमो व्रातपतये नमो गणपतये नमो प्रथमपतये नमस्तेस्तु लम्बोदराय एकदन्ताय विघ्ननाशिने शिवसुताय श्रीवरदमूर्तये नमो नमः साक्षात् श्री गणेश स्वजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः।
Джай Шри Матаджи. Мы сегодня с вами будем смотреть лекцию с праздника Санкранти, поэтому всем солнышко в душу, радости в сердца и хорошего всем настроения. Откроем ладони, внимание поднимем высоко вверх, звуком. Намасте. Поднимем энергию, выровняем поле. Ладони откроем. Звуком. Поработаем с тонкой системой через уши. Обе ладони опустим к земле. Попросим мать Землю сбалансировать работу Муладхара чакры. Мать Земля, пожалуйста, прости все вольные и невольные ошибки по отношению к тебе. Питай в себя и преобразуй все тяжелые и грубые энергии, которые есть в нас, которые атакуют нас извне. Преобразуй их в позитив. Шри Адипхоми Деви. Мать Земля, пожалуйста, наполни нас чистотой и невинностью. Укрепи нас в мудрости. В полной мере прояви проницательность. Дай нам целостность, защищенность, устойчивость, легкость, динамизм, чувство верного направления. Шри Адипхоми Деви. Обе ладони откроем. Внимание на основание ладоней. Муладхара чакру, Сахасрару, звуком. Почувствуем большие пальцы на руках. Внимание на Свадистан чакру, Сахасрару. Большие пальцы закладываем в уши. Просим мать сбалансировать Свадистан чакру. Ладони откроем. Звуком. Почувствуем средние пальцы на руках. Внимание на Наби чакру, Сахасрару. Средние пальцы в уши. Просим мать сбалансировать Наби чакру. Ладони откроем. Звуком. Внимание на мизинцы на руках, Анахата чакру, Сахасрару. Мизинцы вкладываем в уши, просим мать сбалансировать Анахата чакру. Ладони откроем. Звуком. Внимание на указательные пальцы на руках, Вишудхи чакру, Сахасрару. Указательные пальцы вставляем в уши, просим мать сбалансировать Вишудхи чакру. Ладони откроем звуком. Внимание на безымянные пальцы на руках. Агию чакру, сахасрару, безымянные пальцы в уши. Просим мать сбалансировать агию чакру. Ладони откроем звуком. Внимание в центре ладоней, в сахасрару. Чистим 7-й центр. Руки скрестно на затылке. Переводим на уровень лба. Перекрестные движения. Опускаем вдоль туловища. По центральному каналу поднимаем несколько раз вверх. Сделаем таких движений несколько раз. Ладони откроем. Внимание на центральный канал. Звуком. Внимание на Муладхара чакру, сахасрару. Растираем основание ладоней. Внимание на свадистан. Растираем большие пальцы на руках. Внимание на наби чакру, сахасрару. Растираем средние пальцы на руках. Внимание на воид, сахасрару. Растираем воид на ладонях. Внимание на анахата чакру, сахасрару. Растираем мизинцы. Внимание на вишудхи чакру, сахасрару. Растираем указательные пальцы. Внимание на агию, сахасрару. Растираем безымянные пальцы. Внимание в сахасраре. Растираем полностью ладонь. Достаточно. Ладони откроем. Внимание высоко вверх. Звуком. Намасте. Поднимем энергию, выровняем поле. Посмотрим лекцию Шри Матаджи.
So, in the whole evolutionary process, the Mother Earth has played a very big part through her axis. In the same way, in human beings, the axis is the most important. That's the main principle of life we have. What is our axis? We have to stand on our axis. Those who do not stand on their axis, stand more towards the left or towards the life, are capable of complete destruction. Because either they will be destroyed by too much of right side or too much of left side. So our axis has to be properly dealt with. Now those people who do not have a proper axis can have problems of different chakras, of different kind of quality in a person. A person who stretches his axis too much, puts back his head like this, is a person who is very right-sided and creates problem with his ego. And the one who absolutely bends down, like a slavish person, also is a person who goes towards his destructiveness. Now there's a big problem between these two types of people, one trying to dominate another, and when they start dominating another person, they actually destroy themselves as well as destroy the ones whom they are dominating. For example, now, we have seen that we had Britishers who came here and ruled us. We have seen the French went and ruled some other people. Then there are Portuguese who went and ruled some other people. But everything that they did to dominate and all that has double reactions. First of all, by their domination, say, Indians became very slavish. Indians become, even today, they are extremely slavish and they do not have that independent axis as they should have. Extremely slavish people they are. Especially I see in the West, I'm surprised when the Indians go from here. I find they are so very slavish. They try to sort of do all kinds of slavish acts to please the white-skinned people. The white skin became sort of a very adorable stuff in it. That added to the ego of the whites. Added to the ego of the whites, and today you see what's happening is all that ego is destroying them. They are on the verge of destruction because of their ego. So it is so unnatural and it is so superficial. One has to understand that what is the best within a human being is his axis. And everybody has an axis, and one must respect the axis of every person. In Sahaja Yoga, I don't know you by your faces so much. I know you by your chakras, by your sushumna, what sort of a sushumna you have. If you have a deep sushumna, I know you as a deep person. If you have a superficial sushumna, I know you as a person with a very superficial type of a sushumna. And even if you make up something by sort of being very nice or good or talking about Sahaja Yoga or knowing too much about Sahaja Yoga and saying things which will baffle normally anyone as if you are masters of Sahaja Yoga, I know how deep you are. So the depth on the axis is more important than anything else. Your axis has to be very deep. Now you will say that, Mother, the axis is the same as it is. So how can it be deep? So in the axis, as you see, is made in human beings, is like a 3.5 coiled paper like thing. And the inside of it is the Brahmanadi. The Brahmanadi is a very, very small little, we can call a very, very hair-like thing, where only a hair like Kundalini can pass through. But when the person is deep, this Brahmanadi is bigger, and all the rest of them, which are coiled into each other, are smaller. While the people who are not deep, their outside, what you call the foldings, are bigger than the inside small thing. Now such people could be apparently very dynamic, may look very intelligent, may look very smart, may look to be very good looking, or whatever it may be outwardly. But inwardly they are not deep. Inwardly, if they are deep, their whole attitude is beautiful. They are very joy-giving people. They are very joy-giving. And the more, if you meet a person of another kind, he may look joyous, he may try to give you joy, but the joy won't be really that deep. It would be like a joy killing. So it is important for us to make our axis deeper. And that is where we lack the proper assiduity, the proper effort we have to put in. Now some people have automatically very deep axis. And some people have very, very, what should you say, a very constricted type of the axis. This axis has to be grown. Now when you come for my puja and all that, I do expand it, I agree. But it is a temporary thing. To retain it at that point, one has to work at home, in the collective also. One has to work very much at home with meditation. But it should be done seriously. It should not be just a joke, to be frivolous, to be stupid. That's not the way. It should be done very seriously in the meaning that it is a devoted task you have taken. It's a meditative thing. It's a prayer to God. We can call it, it's a puja to God. Is to be done with that reverence, because reverence is the key of achievement. If you have no reverence about yourself and no reverence of others, then it cannot be done. But first you must have reverence for your own life. What am I doing with my life? Where am I wasting it? Why should I waste it? Why should I be deep? After all, there must be some purpose of my life. Am I serving my purpose? Am I doing that? All these things, if they pop into your head, then you will understand it's very easy to fight out your ego. Because normally on small, small things people fight. I've seen that in Sahaja Yoga also, people fight on things like, it's so useless, absolutely useless. To me, it sounds stupid to even mention the way people fight over small things and quarrel. But a deep person, even if he doesn't speak much, even if he doesn't show off much, even if he doesn't sit in the front line, he expresses himself through his depth, because I can work out better through that. So to develop this, one must meditate. Important thing is to meditate. Every day, every day, every day. You may not eat your food one day, you may not sleep one day, you may not go to your office one day, you may not do anything that you are doing every day, but you must meditate every day. That's an important point to develop the central constricted part into a bigger area. Now, when that happens, that you start developing it, the first thing you will notice about yourself, that you do not care for any comfort. You're not bothered about any material thing. Whatever it is, you are above it. You just don't bother your head. Let it be. You just don't want to put your neck into a thing where you do not belong. You just get out of it, and you think that oh God, this is too much for me, I just don't care for it. So your whole attention now moves inward. When the attention starts moving inward, then it expands more. This is the inner part, which is called as the Brahmanadi, and starts expanding and expanding. Now, in small, small things also, say for example, if I have not mentioned somebody and mentioned somebody else, then they feel, oh, why didn't mother mention my name? It's too small a thing that it doesn't matter. As long as you have a deep axis, you are with me, I am with you, absolutely one with each other. But these outward things are, oh, she gave a nice sari to another one, she never gave us a sari, she didn't do this, didn't do that. All those things, if it comes to your head, that means absolutely is true that there is something lacking within you. Or if you try to complain, oh, I went there, I had to go by a bus and I had to stand on this thing, that shows that you are not comforted. This widening comforts you. That's the comforting thing. And that really makes you feel so comfortable in any circumstance, in any position, in any lifestyle. And you do not want to have any other comfort. And this one has to develop through meditative effort. Secondly is we have to know that Sahaja Yoga as it is today is a collective happening. I find, especially among Indian men, they never do any work with their hands, which is a wrong thing. Because they don't use their hands at all, their collectivity is poor, very poor. Indians have the worst collectivity. If you have an ashram, I don't know why should we build an ashram, nobody is going to stay there. They want to have their own houses, their own families, their own children. They are the worst of all for collectivity. The reason is Indian men never do any work with their hands. They cannot nail one nail. There are many like that. Leave alone repairing anything. They will stand with their hands on their hips and would just tell work to other people. See, there's a Marathi saying, very interesting, untavarun sheळ्या हाकणे. That is to sit on a camel and to drive the goats. So that is very typical of Indian men. They cannot repair anything, they cannot do anything now. If supposing somebody is spreading something, they'll just stand like this, watch. They'll never put their hands to it. So for every Sahajogi, it is important what we call as Sramadan. They have to do some Sramadan. Sramadan means the giving of some labor. And that is what we lack. That even if it comes to that, you better clean your house. You better clean outside of your house. Try to put some garden around your house. Try to paint your house. Do some sort of a work with your hand, which even if you don't have anything, you can even brush your hair or something like that. Whatever you think is the easiest you can start with, because I don't think people even do that. Even they don't shave themselves, they get a person to shave them. I mean, absolutely lazy lumps as that. Now, but on the contrary, we see in the West, people use their hands. Because of that, you see, because they can use their hands, they are very collective. So they score a point on being collective. While the Indians score a point because they are Indians and they have a heritage and they know what is Kundalini, they know about Ganesha, they know everything. So they score a point this side. So it's the left side is the desire, the right side is the action. Again we come back to the same position where we have an imbalance. That the action takes place in the West and here is only thinking, all right, we'll do this, planning. Everything in the planning pot. Nothing works out, you go on planning, planning, planning. Now we are building one single ashram in Delhi for the last, I think, 10 years. It is like Taj Mahal, I tell you. It's so difficult, you see, to understand why they have taken so much time, and it's not a very big place, nothing. But it is not only the Sahaja Yogis, but other factors also. Because everybody is like that. Everything is postponed. Everything is to be done tomorrow. We'll do tomorrow. Then one person will come, another person won't come. Like we used to have